everybody, welcome back to 2Psychics No Limits. We are Tamalla and Cindy, and we are here talking about any topic that we find interesting, but also speaking about our own life experiences. And everything that we are saying is seen and spoken from our perspective, with our own views and from our opinions. And we are addressing random topics as well that we think is interesting to discuss. So today, Tamalla already mentioned this in our previous video to talk about overflow, giving away our overflow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So today we're going to talk about really what the difference is between our cup and overflow, and also about understanding a little bit more about clarity and joy and how we attract things and how we have those in our experience without really losing our own power in the process.
Yay! Do you want to start with informing the viewers what it is actually, what the difference is between giving your overflow and not your own cup?
Yes. So in my channeling, and this has come through several times with the beings that I channel, and they always talk about us having a cup and then having an overflow. And usually that cup is in our soul space, which is the place that's between our heart space and our solar plexus. And it is a cup, literally a cup of energy, of nourishment, of empowerment, of resonance, right? And it resides in our physical body. And what happens is, because we've been programmed by religions and societies and cultures that we need to sacrifice, that we need to be a martyr, that we need, especially women, they have to do for other people and put themselves last. What's happened is we have a planet full of disempowered women, because what we've been doing is we've been giving up from our cup. And the way it's designed to happen, the way it's supposed to happen, is that we give from our overflow. And what that means is, when we're filling our cup, and we do this lots of different ways, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but we fill up our cup and we fill up our cup, and our cup begins to really fill and fill and fill and become full. And then we continue to fill up our cup, and as the cup is brimming, right, it begins to overflow. And that overflow part is what we give to other people. The cup is ours, and everything that's in that cup is ours. And we're not to give away anything within our cup. We only give away the overflow. And what that means is, and there was a lot of talk about this in the Bible, but people just misunderstood it. And there's a lot of talk about this in other religions, but again, they misunderstood it. What they thought it was saying was, oh, you give the cup, and that's not how it works. And so our relationship to our cup is going to be really individual, because a lot of folks are going to have to work through their own understanding of abundance and wealth and being good enough and being worthy and it being acceptable to have before they give. And that's a whole lot of shadow work. And, you know, that's a lot of what I teach people, is how to do that shadow work to get rid of those old patterns. But if you don't have a full cup, then you can't give your overflow, because the overflow only comes when your cup runneth over, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have, and you can do this, you can practice this with a teacup and just, you know, pour water, you know, pour it in until it is full, and it overflows onto the little plate under the cup. And you keep the cup, and then you can choose who you want to give that overflow to. And that's another important aspect, is we all get to choose who gets the overflow and how much they get of the overflow. This is no longer the land of takers. This is the land of empowerment, of self-confidence, of self-worth, and of cognitive awareness, right? Mental and emotional awareness, where we're able to decide, oh, Cindy needs some divine love. I'm not going to give her my divine love. I'm going to give her divine love from source, because that's the most supportive for her, right? I'm not giving my cup, and I'm not even giving my overflow. I'm giving it from source. Well, Cindy needs some laughter today. Okay, well, I have my cup full of laughter and joy and silliness, and so I'm going to sprinkle some of my overflow onto Cindy.
Thank you.
And so what happens is she gets nourished, and that helps her cup get full, so that then she has an overflow to give to other people. And that's the way it's supposed to work. That is the only way it is going to work moving forward. We are not going to get to 5D, disempowered, martyrs, victims, poor me's. That's just not going to cut it. It just isn't. We can't get there with that. And so it's all about really being clear what our cup looks like, where it is in our body, what it feels like when it's not full, what it feels like when it's empty, what it feels like when it is full, and what it feels like when it's overflowing. And then to also know when other people are trying to scoop out of our cup, because we've trained them to do that, right? All our lives, we've trained people to just take from us whatever they wanted. And so we also have to learn how to create new patterns of behavior for ourselves, so that we have good boundaries and parameters, so other people aren't scooping out of our cup anymore. And so all of that is what is the work that I'm doing right now.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. You have any thoughts or any questions or ideas?
No, it only came up to me like when people are giving us, actually when I can speak from my own experience, when I want to give something to somebody else and I do not give that from an overflow, I get tired.
Yeah.
I feel like my energy is running out, and I ask myself why I'm so tired, why I'm so drained. It is because I did not nourish myself first and give from my overflow. So in that perspective, that is also then what people are saying, like you have to take care of yourself first. You know, self-love is also what you and I are teaching, at least Carla is teaching that. In that sense, we can say like we have to take care of ourselves first, because we need to make sure that our cup is filled. And then we can give the overflow to somebody else, and then we pass it on.
Exactly.
To others.
Yep. And so what we want is we want to create a society of people who are just fountains of overflow everywhere they go. And think of every person as a fountain, because we already are fountains. It's just, are we spewing lack and victimhood and disempowerment and hate, or are we spewing empowerment and support and divine love and balance and self-confidence and success, right? Because we all are fountains, and all of our fountains are sprinkling on each other. And that's why you've got to also understand the parameters and the boundaries idea in an empowered way, because if somebody else sprinkles on you, if you have good parameters, it's not going to contaminate your fountain, because we don't want that either, right? Yeah, we want to keep our fountain pure and clear and aligned to who we are and what we want to create. And we also want to ensure that we're attracting other people in our experience who are wanting and creating pure, clean fountains of their own. And when we get around other people who aren't, either the universe will direct us around them so that we don't have that experience, or if we're called to be in that experience and do something, our fountain will be moving so fast and so thorough and so abundant that theirs just can't compete with it. Theirs gets washed away. And while all that seems, it seems like an etheric thing, if you actually start thinking about that as you're going about your day and go, wow, that person is a fountain. Wow, that person is a fountain. What is it? Look, you're going to have a totally different view of your commute, right? You're going to have a totally different view of your shopping experience. You're going to have a totally different view of your holidays, because you'll be able to see what people are fountains of. And it's a powerful thing. So thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for sharing.
It's awesome. And it's all about what the new stuff that's coming in that I'm teaching right now. And it's just really super important that we're conscious all the time. We don't get to half-ass things anymore, right? Because we're in the time of truth, with capital T truth. And everything is about being really present and really aware. And as we're being that, we're also, we're taking responsibility for our own fountains. Because even though we're watching other people, we also have to be watching ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, including myself, sometimes, forget this, that we take care of ours first and then somebody else. Because what you said in the beginning, we have been taught as women to look after other people first rather than ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's no self-nourishment, there's no, putting ourselves on the first spot. It's not being selfish.
Right.
It is completely something else, and I think that we managed to take these kind of words out of perspective of out of context and put it in a different meaning than what they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing selfish as being something like getting greedy, but selfish is also taking care of yourself, giving yourself the nourishment that you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And nobody can do it for us.
Nope.
That's the bigger thing. See, we're also in the generation of somebody else do it for me. And that is not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's all about personal responsibility and personal accountability. And other people can't do your overflow for you.
Mm-mm.
Other people can't fill up your cup. It just is not the way that it works.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, what about my child who has a disability? Or, what about, this parent who has a sickness? Or, what about, they have their own cups and they have the ability to fill up their own cup if you offer the resonance for them to be able to do that. And it's not so much about us doing the work for other people, it's offering a potential for other people to cooperate with the energy, right? Like if I'm being really happy and joyful and my beloved comes home and he's being a snarky jackass, the strongest paradigm is going to win. One of my mentors, that's a huge saying, and it makes total sense. If I'm more joyful and happy than he is snarky, he's going to, if he wants to cooperate, relax his grumpiness, and then at least if he can't get happy, he can appreciate my happiness, right? He'll laugh, he'll just relax. But if I'm happy and joyful and he's being a grumpy jackass and his energy is way bigger, right? If his paradigm is way bigger and he comes home and shares it, and then my energy were to get down, then it would shift that way. But that's the way it works, right? The strongest paradigm wins. Mm-hmm. But we're responsible for maintaining our own alignment. And so if he comes home grumpy and I feel his energy getting bigger, I don't fight with that. I don't go, oh, you're being a jackass, you stop being a jackass, right? That's not how it works. Instead, I make my happy bigger, whether it influences him or not. And sometimes what that looks like is saying, yeah, I'm going to go upstairs for a little while. And then I go upstairs and turn on some dance music and dance. Now, I'm not saying that my beloved is a jackass. I'm using this as an example, right? And it is sometimes you just remove yourself from the situation, which completely then will help you keep your energy where it needs to be, right? Make your happy bigger. And we do this at work. We do this in traffic. We do this when we're shopping. We do this when we're in a park around people, right? We do this when we're on public transportation. It's still all about us maintaining our own alignment and fueling ourselves with what we prefer until we're so full of that it spills over. And as we're walking through life, it happens to spill over on other people who are around us because they see us being happy. They see us being successful. They see us being self-confident. And they then get sprinkled with it, and they can decide that they want some of that too. Not mine, not yours, but their own. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah. And when you are said, like, for example, when your beloved has a very bad mood and you are going to, be very short at him and say, like, cheer up, get your moody mood out of the way, that actually only fuels whatever he feels, right? So you're only fueling, making the unhappy energy bigger than that you're actually doing the opposite of what you actually want to achieve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so, don't do that.
And
it's easier said than done.
Exactly, I want to say so.
Because sometimes you just want to say, look, jackass, I want you to not behave that way, right? and sometimes that needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes truth needs to be spoken. But it needs to be spoken with love, too. Because that's how it's received.
Yeah. So what would you advise when people are hearing this for the first time, that they will have to give from the overflow? How would you describe to them how it is to feel their overflow?
So you can do this lots of different ways and find the ways that work for you. But the first thing is to pick one emotion that you want to feel. So it could be happiness, it could be joy, it could be self-confidence, it could be love, it could be anything. Okay, so we'll do this as a demonstration. So Cindy, what's one emotion you would like to be filled up with?
Let's say joy.
Okay, so let's close our eyes and put our hands on our heart. Right hand on our heart, left hand on the right hand. And we're going to call all of our energy and attention back from all the places that it is, from our past, our present, and our future. And as it comes back through our energy fields, and it's stripped of any obligations, responsibilities, negativity. And it comes back crystal clean and clear. And as we have our energy gathering back to us, we're going to drop down into our soul space, which is directly beneath our heart space. And it's our soul literally lives in our body in the place called behind the xiphoid process, which is where our ribs come together in the middle. And so if you want to put your fingers there, you can. And this is where your soul lives inside your body. And as you come into this soul space, it's important for you to release your mind, release any expectations, release any emotions that you have. And just be in this soul space for a moment. And as you're in this soul space, you may find that there's a rhythm to your soul. And you may find yourself rocking, moving from side to side, diagonally, back and forth. And this is the wave of your soul. And this is a place you're going to want to practice coming to frequently. This is the space of clarity, of non-attachment, and of direct connection to your higher self. And now, let's bring the resonance of the emotion that you've chosen into the soul space with you. Ask it to gather before you as an image, as a color, as something that you can identify. And then imagine that your cup or chalice appears before you, between you and this emotion that you wish to have. And it can be as big or as small. It can be any color, any design. But that's your cup. Make an imprint in your mind of what this cup looks like. And what it feels like. And see, is this cup empty? Is it partially full, half full, all the way full? And then imprint how it feels to be that, whatever it is. So now the energy or the resonance that you're asking to be predominant in your experience that is there before you, we're going to offer it gratitude for coming. And we're going to ask to be filled to overflowing with this resonance. And as the resonance begins to pour into our cup, even if our cup is already full and overflowing, it is added to our cup and begins to merge and integrate with the other energies that are there. And it fills up and up and up until it pours out over the edges of our cup and begins to fill the entirety of our soul space. And now let's welcome that energy to pour through the entirety of our body, up into our heart space, our throat, our shoulders, our neck, our head, into our third eye and crown, down into our solar plexus and our tummy, our back, our navel or sacral chakra, our bottom, our root, down our legs and down into our feet. Allow it to spread out into your arms and your hands and your fingers. And to feel your entire body pulsing with this resonance that you've chosen. It is in cooperation with the energy of your body. And anything that is not it is dissolved and transmuted into it. Now we're going to allow that resonance to move out of our physical body into our mental body, our emotional body, out into our auric field. And it's going to shine through the pores of our skin and pour over us and around us in a fountain that is above our heads and below our feet and in every direction. And this is a limitless fountain. It never diminishes unless we choose it. And even when we add new energies in, they do not diminish, but instead they become in partnership and companionship. And anything that is contradictory to these energies, or that are blocks or limitations, are immediately dissolved and transformed and transmuted into these energies. And when you feel all the cells of your body, and you can bring your arms out and feel it all the way into your energy fields, above and below. And then it's pulsing and fountaining over and through you in a continuous process. That is your overflow. And you can come back and do this exercise as many times as you want, with any and all resonances that you want. But that's your overflow.
Thank you for
You're
giving us a demonstration.
You're welcome. So what did you notice?
That I became actually very calm.
Mm-hmm.
I got calm and I could feel, maybe you don't really see it that I was moving, but I could feel the energy. When you said like, that is the movement of your soul, that was very funny for me because I've never experienced it before. It was very nice for me to feel. Yeah, super calm, and I'm like, somehow also like lighter. I don't feel that heavy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a very nice experience. Yeah. And my body temperature went up. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the overflow as well.
Mm-hmm. When you shift your energy, your body has to compensate. And so sometimes you'll feel colder, sometimes you'll feel hotter. When I'm working with energy, my body temperature goes way up, like way up. And that's because I'm burning through this energy. But everybody's experience is going to be different.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
That's
lovely.
Overflow.
Yay!
So go sprinkle on people today.
You need some joy. You give it to you.
That's right.
It's actually quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It doesn't take that long.
no.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually curious. So I just want to, share this with the ones who are listening and watching this. So the ones who have followed Tamalla's, exercise for the overflow. And if you would like to share your experiences and have any comments, please let us know below the video, because or send us an email at 2Psychics no limits at gmail.com, because we are very much looking forward to hear what you have experienced.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And share this with folks who can benefit, because this is a process that works all the time. And the more you do it, the quicker it gets. Like usually, I don't have to go through that entire process, that length of time to get there, unless I'm in my head too much.
Mm.
But I've done it so much now, I can just drop into that soul space, bring in what I want, and like whoosh it out, and I'm good. Because my body knows what to do with it. My mind, my emotions, my energy knows what to do with it, because I've done it so much.
Mm.
It can be done while you're sitting on the subway. It can be done while you're watching TV. It can be done in a meeting at work. It can be done anywhere. And people will notice the difference.
Yeah.
They really do notice the difference.
Yeah, they might not be aware of what's going on, but they will pick it up energetically.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I have people who tell me, boy, you're glowing today. You're glowing. Wow, you just look really great. And it's like, yep, I'm in my zone, baby. Right? And they don't notice, like, I'm still in my Buddha phase. And people don't even notice that I am in a Buddha phase, right? That I'm still round. They don't even notice. They don't have a clue, because they don't see that. All they see is the light and the joy and the love and the clarity and all of that. And so it's fascinating. The more you do this and the more that it becomes part of who you are, the more people see you differently even than you see yourself, right? Because I still look in the mirror sometimes and I go, wow, you're still gigantic. You're still a big Buddha, and you're supposed to be moving into your queen priestess phase. And immediately I hear, yep, that's coming. Yep. No. And so it becomes part of the fountain, also becomes part of how your body appreciates itself too, which is awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. I have one question though. You mentioned before the exercise that we are for generation of, what did you say? Oh yeah, please do it for us. Please, get me out of my misery. Do it just on my behalf. Do you know where this is coming from?
Well, it's it is the contamination of the empowerment of technology, because technology makes it easier for us and we're able to do less manual things, right? Well, what happens is then people who are using technology for ways that are making their lives better and that are partnering with them in supportive and empowered ways are still getting the benefits of all of that and moving forward towards where they want to be and where they want to go, right? Like we're using the technology of YouTube and of social media, right, to get our messages out, which is wonderful. But there's also the polarity of everything, right? And part of that polarity spectrum is the negative use of technology or the disempowered use of technology, which is where people think that their jobs are being stolen, right? Or where people are saying, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. I'll just have technology do it for me, right? And it's that kind of abdication of our own work, of our own effort, right? That leads then to the understanding of, I don't have to try anymore. And that's totally not true. Even if you're following the law of attraction, and I teach the law of attraction, you still have to do something, right? You have to take actions that are aligned with the thing that you want. And there's so much in the world now about technology makes everything easier. And it does, and it can, but that doesn't mean you get to sit on your ass and do nothing, right? It still means you use the technology in a way that's going to empower you and your own mission to be better and broader and wider and stronger and all of those things, right? So and that's just one thing. It's that twisting of the energy of technology, because there was a cartoon, and I don't remember which one it is right now, but it's been coming up, and the scene has been coming up in my memory lately, which is the blob people floating on the floaty chairs. You know, it's like that. That's where people mentally are about effort, about efforting, about accomplishment, right? They don't want to have to do things, because if they do things, if they feel like they have to do things, then they think they're not in alignment, that they just have to own and everything is just going to come to them. And that's not how it works. You own, you align, you connect, and you do. And that's what being congruent is, right? And that's what all the teaching in the Living a Congruent Life training we're doing is. You got to do. But a lot of people don't want to do.
Makes sense to me. Is this also why the mindset is like, well, when I do this once, then I will be fixed like immediately, instead of understanding that some things actually take some time and will be a process?
Yes. And the idea of I do it once and it's good, and that's a big thing for me, right? Because I'm Gen X, and like I want to do stuff and be done, and I'm also an Aries, and I'm like, let's move, like do this, move on next, right? And so that's been a problem for me as well, is I want to do it once and be done with it and move to the next thing. But that's not how resonance works. And we're working with resonance, with energy. And we do things once, and that's good. And it'll shift our energy like we just did. We put in our overflow, and we did that once. That's wonderful. It's in there right now. What are you going to do to keep it there? And you have to keep it there. Now, if you're a consistent soul, which if you're part of my manifesting mastermind, you'll know what that means. If you're a consistent soul, then you need to consistently be doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over to keep that resonance in your energy field until you shift, until you become that energy. If you're a variable soul, which I am, I have to do that energy in a lot of different ways until I shift and become that energy. And that's the thing that people are missing, is the doing. Either doing the consistency or doing the variable, depending on how your soul's designed, and doing it on purpose. Because we also, when we're being our fountains, we just kind of scatter our fountains with no intentions, with no ambitions, with no with no fuel behind it, which is fine, but that's what you do when you're walking down the street, not what you're doing when you're trying to manifest a job or manifest a relationship or manifest a certain amount of savings or manifest a vacation, right? Or get your business off the ground or fill a program or any of those things. They have to be intentional. And, you know, that's what people miss. And they just want to do it the one time. And, oh, well, I did it once. It didn't work. And I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, me too. Or at least I understand because I experienced this too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Because I did not know it had to do with technology and stuff.
Well, that's one way. That's the way that's most predominant right now. There's probably lots of others, but that's the one that Spirit wanted me to talk about. So.
Nice. Is there anything else that you want to share on Overflow or Spirit wants to share?
Let me see. You know how, and it's true in the United States right now, a lot of places there's so much rain, they're getting flooded. And then other places, there's so much of a lack of rain that it's on fire, right? And so it's interesting that the planet is going to offer itself balance. So and that's true for us too in our energy fields, we have that balance. And so if we're being a fountain, but we're only being a fountain sometimes, the balance is going to come in where we have a drought. Okay. And so instead of having a feast or famine, right, drought or flood, instead of that, what you want to do is you want to harmonize your fountain to include multiple aspects, things that are going to support relationships, things that are going to support career or money or abundance or wealth, that are going to support your health, that are going to support the planet, right? You want a complete, balanced continuum, because that's what you're creating. You're creating a continuous flow out and in around you, right? Like a fountain. And so as you're doing that, you want that to include more than just one thing, because we can't just have one vitamin, right? We got to have all the vitamins and minerals to be healthy. And so that's what you also want to include with your fountain, is to include those other things that you need, like health and positive support, or, you know, friendships with other women that are powerful, empowered women, or a job that makes you feel nourished and expansive and acknowledged and appreciated and wealthy, right? You want to put those in your fountain too, so that there's not that feast or famine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think I've got any more questions.
Well, thank you for letting me talk about this important topic today. It's really, really super, super important. And we need everybody to get on board. Because if you're not doing your fountain on purpose, your fountain's doing you.
Oh, because you do not realize what is actually coming out of your fountain. So you're going like a circle, and then when you are like in a bad mood, or things are not like going as you wanted, and you keep going in that same circle of negativity.
Yep. And attracting other people, or the same types of relationships, or the same types of job experiences, or the same types of things you don't prefer.
So how often do you think that people will need to do this? Is it like every single day, in the morning or in the evening?
Yeah, I do it every time I think about it. So some days it may be 5 times a day. Some days it may be 100 times a day. But it needs to be at least once a day. And make it part of your routine. And it can be, morning, evening, it doesn't matter. It just needs to be part of your routine because you're connecting with you and what you want. And so it needs to fit your schedule and it needs to feel good for you. And if it doesn't feel good for you, then you need to tweak it until it does.
Mm.
And watch out for your saboteur. Because your saboteur is going to come up and say, holy smokes, wait a minute, you're doing something different. This is scaring the shit out of me. I don't know how to keep you safe doing this.
Yeah.
And so if you need some support with that, let me know, because I do teach a sabotage school where we talk about the saboteur. But it really is about you choosing what kind of fountain you want to be today. And sometimes you're going to choose, I want to be a fountain of joy. And then you get in the car and you're stuck in traffic and there's people cutting you off and all these things. And by the time you get to where you're going, you're finding that you're a fountain of fury. And so just take a minute and go, okay, I see the fury. It's bright red. I know what this looks like. I know what this feels like. I don't want this in my fountain anymore. So I'm going to flood in some peace. And for me, peace is blue. It's like the ocean water.
Mm.
And so I can flood in some ocean water, and that peace. I hear the birds. And then boom, now I got my peaceful fountain. And I'm going on in my peaceful fountain. And it can be that fast.
Mm. But then we need to practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Mm.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any? Oh, go ahead.
No, there wasn't anything else, but I was going to ask you if you want to introduce yourself now and tell everybody what you do and how they can contact you.
Yes. So my name is Cindy. I am an energetic stepping and wholeness counselor. I am working very closely with spirits, mainly with my own spirit team, Carla, and they are here to work on your mental health, to let you step forward into your future, to step out of the 3D into the 4 and the 5D. It is stepping out of your negativity and go into the positiveness. I am also doing this myself, so if you do not want to talk to spirit, I can do this as well, working with your subconscious blocks. And I use a method, it's called the Deep Emotional Transformation Code. So we are removing the subconscious blocks. And besides working with spirit, I also give sound treatments. And the method that I use is called Sacred Crystal Sound. And it is a sound treatment coming from the Atlantis time period. And it is me producing the sound, working together with my 4 crystals. And I can offer this in person or on distance. So when you are outside of Europe or outside of Switzerland, no problemo. I will be able to connect to you as long as you send me a picture of yourself and we schedule a time and date, and I'm able to give you a treatment. What is going to happen? I cannot really say, because every single body is different. And the main purpose, so to say, of this method is to relax, rebalance, and re-energize your body and mind. And what will happen afterwards, it is up to your own lifestyle and up to your body. And I am not controlling anything, neither do you. It's your body. So, oh yeah, and then my contact details. So my website for working with spirit, it's called channelingcarla.com, and you can reach out to me at info@channelingcarla.com. And for the sound treatment, you can reach out to me by sending an email to info@stepforwardandbecomewhole.com.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Wonderful. And my name is Tamalla. I am your empowerment priestess. I'm a psychic channel, an Akashic Records clearer, and basically a spiritual midwife. I teach personal responsibility, mental and emotional discipline, alignment, sabotage school, manifesting, and everything that has to do with empowering the individual and the collective and helping us evolve to 5D, because That's my jam. You can reach me at info@yourownsoul.com, or you can check out my website at yourownsoul.com, and also my Instagram at Your Empowerment Priestess, and of course on the YouTube channels. So Cindy and I have this group channel together, and then we also have our individual YouTube channels. So subscribe to both of those as well, because we do add additional content individually.
Yes.
So we want those.
Thank you for highlighting the YouTube channel, because I completely forgot.
Well, we're both starting to do a whole lot more on YouTube, because we want to get our messages out into the world. So if you can share this, like our channel, subscribe, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell so that you get a notification for when we upload new videos. So we will talk with you soon. Thank you so much. May your fountains be full of all that you desire, and your life be an example and give you clarity of everything that is in your fountain.
Beautiful. Yay. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye-bye.